Alrighty, PG-13. Now, we're going to revisit the Sharc here, because there's some interesting things that I'd like to talk about. And that is, out of all the times Hasbro has remade the Sharc, it's 7 times. They've changed the name a few times, and that's why we have a wave crusher behind those figures. They also changed it so much in 2011 it became a polar shark. Like, what the heck? But you know, there's so many different variations. Even the shark tooth, it's called the Sharc. And we have all these different names I'll just put up here just so you can see, you know, Nightshade, Sky Shark, Wave Crusher, Night Spectre, Shark Tooth, Wave Crusher again. So you can see all the different names that they made for the Sharc. Now, this would have been awesome if they actually made it a little larger, and they made it actually like the cartoon where you can have a 2-seater either side by side or behind each other. I mean, there's plenty of room for a better design for this awesome vehicle. And you know, growing up, my friend did have this, and I always thought it was pretty neat because, you know, you can push the guns up manually. So you had your laser cannons, and it went through the water, and it, you know, it held figures on the bottom. Now, some figures actually don't peg into this, but just to show you, you can peg your figure on, and you know, they're pretty good. So you can put 2 divers on the bottom. But the funny thing about having 2 divers on the bottom is, you know, they where's the scuba tank gonna go? So, did they drown? Another cool thing about the bottom of this is that the Sharc did have missiles instead, so you could put missiles here. But if they would have made this larger, you could have had missiles come out, or maybe missiles put over here, or, you know, if they made it larger and wider, you could have had room for the missiles and the diver, or you could have had room for more missiles, or maybe even more divers. So the fact that Hasbro was limited in their ability to, you know, make something better, something that's awesome, make it even way better, they just failed. And it's really sad. Like, yes, we kind of got used to, like, you know, with the Tiger Force and Python Patrol, G.I.Joe vehicles going over to the Cobra side, and the Cobra vehicles going over to the Joe side. But I mean, you take, for example, the Wave Crusher. We're just gonna deep 6 those ones out of the way. The Wave Crusher was actually kind of neat, but wouldn't this look better if this canvas was either clear or all black? You know, again, the inside does have a lot of detail. And is the detail exactly the same? Pretty much, I'm thinking. So the detail's pretty much the same. You know, I got these new in the box, and one of my subs kept harassing me for this figure, the Sub Viper, which is also known as the Toxo Viper in yellow. But the silver version is actually fantastic. I love these. These could have been actually a better, like, for a laser Viper, because they actually look more futuristic. But this became the Sub Viper. And you know, there's the same stuff. There's a panel here. There's rudders on the back for steering. You know, there's also the Sky Patrol one. That's in the 7 that I mentioned. And you know, that one you can find for anywhere for $30 to $90. It all depends on how much someone wants to price gouge you. But you know, this was a cool little vehicle. Did Cobra already have a sub? Yes. They had the what was it? The Sea Ray, the Cobra Sea Ray, with Sea Slug. And did they have other subs that came after? Yes. They've had some other smaller subs. And this one was awesome with the Sea Slug. and I got a couple sea slugs. But you know, this still could have been designed better, because these always seem to break, or the color you can see. I did have actually 2 of these when I was a kid. I only have 1 now. But you know, this separates to become a glider, so it kind of was interesting. Yeah, but he's all purple. Purple. There we go with the purple. Now the Deep 6 driver for the Sharc sucked. I mean, he had the gimmick. I do have the pump. You put him in your bathtub. There's lots of bath time fun. You know, this really sucked. And I'm surprised that they didn't make like a suit, you know, where you can actually get a figure out of it for a more, you know, heavy duty constructions. But oh well. Deep 6, well, Deep 6 that figure. Other people love this version because, you know, the helmet comes off. But there's no paint apps on the helmet, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, technically you could paint it. There's also a mail-away version of Deep 6. And I think there is another version where he's all blue. Deep 6. You know, I sometimes confuse the wetsuit versions of Deep 6. Might have done that in a video here or there. But, you know, this is kind of awesome. And again, for the Street Fighters, I don't know why, but one of the Street Fighter guys does come with this. My Van Damme that I've used in my videos, he did come with the Deep 6 pack. It's like, what the F for? Now his spear gun is kind of neat, but again, you can't turn it or whatever because he'll snap his thumb off. And I did love the underwater aspect of G.I. Joe, you know, that was always in the cartoons with the cobra eels. But the actual cartoon design for the Sharc was way better. And that was something that I always wondered why they didn't make it like the cartoon. You know, the cobra eels was fantastic. How come he never came with a Sharc? You know, but again, the 2-seater would have been ideal, you know, whether it's made a little wider and then you put 2 seats side by side or one behind each other. But if you made it just a little larger, it would have been the perfect ideal submarine slash, you know, I guess flying vehicle, because it also flies in the air. There's episodes where Duke was in it. Other people have piloted it. And speaking of subs, I don't think we ever really got a real sub for the line. It's kind of, you know, disappointing. A lot of people do make customs from other lines. And I'm just gonna try to pull this out here. Now you can make your own custom sub. Some people paint them. I've made this one a Cobra sub. You can see the grand scale. I don't think I'll be able to fit it on the table, but we'll just move this wave crusher out of the way. There we go. And just to give you an idea of the actual size of a sub, this you can use. I think it's Chasing 80s Toys. He actually used a Cobra cane and put the Cobra snake on one. So it's kind of cool. Some people paint these up. I put some stickers on here, or decals. They don't really stay on as great. I don't know why, but this is great. You know, we're going to lose figures right away. You got lots of room, and you could do a lot more to customize this. I just put some of those little seat belts in there and took a chair, drilled it in there. I could paint that still for the thing there. For the computer. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties. Now I don't know if I need 2 hands to pop this hood up here, but again, this is pretty plain in here, so you can still do a lot for a custom. You can put a computer console in here or something, some sort of steering device or mechanism. And you put better seating, so there is room to customize this. And again, you could use these for, you know, surface to air missiles. You know, this could be our nuclear powered submarine. Now again, I'm sorry that I do talk a little bit here and there about some things. You know, it kind of sucks that we have a carbon tax, and you know, you would think everybody would get a rebate, so it would be fair to all people. This also has a little scope here. Kind of cheap, but you know, this is, I think these were like $80 in the store, or sometimes they were on sale for $50. And you can find them secondhand market, so you can actually get them for cheaper. Some people will sell a whole lot of these. But anyways, you know, this carbon tax thing, to be fair, everyone should have got a rebate, and there shouldn't be this, you know, singling out just for families. It should be for all people, because all people are going to be taxed, not per household. So the math kind of doesn't work. And you can't cancel me, because you know, I'm not here to spread false propaganda. I'm just saying, you know, you have an election year, you think you'd give everybody a rebate. You know, factor it in better. So again, everyone should qualify for this carbon tax rebate, since they're pushing through a carbon tax. But again, I do have some great ideas, but you know, I just don't want to get into politics, because you know, I'm not against, but it's just not the right time, since people have so little extra money in the first place. So like I told you, I'm just going to cut out fast food places, and then I'll end up saving whatever I gotta save. And you know, whoever files their taxes first in the household gets the rebate, which is not fair to all the other people in the household. So let's say you have like 2 or 3 families living in a house, then you know, one person's gonna get this. And even like for immigrant families and whatnot, you know, it's the same thing. So like I said, to be fair to everyone, or you want to call them new Canadians. My grandfather was an immigrant from another country, so I'm going to use the word immigrant. And that is not to degrade someone, it's just that's how it is. My grandfather was an immigrant to this country, but my mother's side was here. So the whole point I'm trying to make is everyone should have a rebate, since this tax is going to affect everyone. Everyone at the age of 16 to 18 maybe. Everyone should have a rebate. Now, I don't know. There's many different ways of handling something like this, but again, it's probably just to change people's behaviors. But you're not going to change my behavior. If I gotta drive to work, I gotta drive to work. If I'm gonna buy action figures, I'm gonna buy action figures. And speaking of which, we are gonna raise the flag, so it might be a little while before I make a video again. And I've already planned out what I'm going to do. See that piece of wood over there? That's paper thin. It's about maybe 1/4 inch. I'm going to use that under each truss, cut the shape out, and then it'll be super easy to put under. Anyways, thanks for watching. You'll see when I start making it. Alrighty, sorry, be a little while before I make my next video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe.